What's up, boys, and welcome back to another video on the YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over my Rlcs 2022-2023 NA Fall Open predictions. This is the main event. If you don't know what that is, it's the top 8 from the top 16 qualifier and the top 8 from the closed qualifier. They'll go ahead in a Swiss format, and the top 8 from that go to the playoffs of the main event. You get the idea. If you watched Rocket League before, if you watched the Esports League before, you would know. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so I will say there's a lot of really random, very random teams in here. Like, a lot of upsets happened in the close qualifier. I mean, you got to think Accru didn't make it. They were one from the top 16 qualifiers. Ghost didn't make it, also from the top 16 qualifiers. Dark Zero didn't make it, which was another expected one. And then I think the most random prediction that no one expected was NRG going 3-0, and not to mention they had a 9-2 record, only going to a game 5 with Accru, which unfortunately didn't make it. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. First game, we have Space Station Gaming versus Seoul. Seoul was actually the team that beat Dark Zero. They beat them in a game 5 in a round 5 to qualify for the main event. So, yeah. Anyways, I think Seoul's a good team. They beat Loco in the open qualifiers, which looked pretty good. But I think Space Station just looks so much better. And I think that's a pretty easy 3-0, in my opinion. I don't see Space Station losing that. Seoul is your weakest link team. Obviously, they are the number 16 seed, so there's that. Not a bad team, but still, Space Station looks so good recently with LJ in the squad. I'm ready for the team. I think Seoul I think it's going to be a lot closer than the actual scoreline says, but we'll have to see. Alright, next match, we have Version 1 versus Team Accelerate. Team Accelerate looked pretty good as well. They actually beat Accru in round 5. I actually wanted both teams to qualify, but unfortunately, we can't get everything we want, so yeah. Anyways, let's see. I think Accelerate's a pretty good team. I'm going to give them a game. I still think Version 1 are a stronger team, but Accelerate are good. I think it will be close. And I'm going to give Accelerate a game because I usually do. We'll see. G2 Luminosity. I think G2 starts off pretty slow. I'm actually going to bring this to a game 5. I'm going to give it to G2, but I think Luminosity is a really good team, and they've definitely showed up. Like, a lot of times, I really didn't expect them to, but they have gotten a couple of upsets in the past couple of tournaments. Overall, they're a pretty good team. I think they can do better, but right now, as a new team, they're pretty good. This is probably the most exciting match of this entire first round. This is the SAM games. You have Complexity with 2 SAM members and a Spanish player. And then you have Furia with all Brazilian players from South America. It's basically who is the better South American team, and Furia have not been looking good coming to NA quite yet. I think Fury is still a good team. I think they will improve as they get, more used to the region. But at the current moment, I think Complexity are a little bit better. I'm going to bring it to a game 4. I don't even think it will go to a game 5. Maybe a bit of an upset for a lot of people. For me, I think Complexity will come up strong and take out Furia. That's just me, though. Alright, Optic Gaming versus Pittsburgh Knights. Rlcs versus Original Squad. I think Optic has a lot of random mistakes and then game losses they really shouldn't have. And Pittsburgh Knights is also a pretty good team. They went 3-1 in Swiss in the closed qualifiers, almost 3-0. But I feel like they're going to be a team that showed up in the closed qualifiers but don't show up here. I'm going to give it to Optic 3-1. Faze Clan Genji Mobile. This is probably going to be a random match. This can go either way depending on how Genji show up. Genji are a pretty good roster. I think if they do show up and play actual players, which they haven't been, they could be Faze here. But I'm gonna give this a 3-0. I think Faze are just a strong team, and I think it will be close. I think Genji could take a couple of games, and I think they could even win this. But they really have to show up. I mean, Faze is an unfortunate first round match, but it happens. So yeah. Rogue Shopify. Rogue is also a pretty good roster, as well as Shopify. Shopify went 3-0 in Swiss in the close qualifiers. They look really good, actually. And I think right now I want to give it to Shopify. I think Shopify's a pretty good roster. Shopify looked pretty well. Rogue also looked pretty good. But yeah, that could be a bit of an upset for some people. Some people might have Rogue going through. Some people have Shopify going through. A lot of people have said that Shopify looked really good. You know what? I'm actually going to bring this to a game 5. I think Rogue have what it takes to at least bring it to a game 5. Untitled Nrg. Nrg went 3-0 as well with a 9-2 scoreline. But I'm going to give it a bit of an upset here. I think Dignitas will take this in game 5. I think, Juri's team looks pretty good. They obviously made it through. I completely forgot who they beat. I think it was actually Furia they beat in round 5 in the top 16 qualifier. So they really showed up. Furia might not have been looking too great, but they still beat Furia. a team that was number 4 at Worlds. So there's that. I think they're a good roster. I think they'll beat Nrg here. Yeah. Space Station Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion. A bit of an interesting one here. Shopify definitely is a good team. I think Space Station have shown up like a lot recently, and I think they're gonna go 3-1 against Shopify. Like I said, Shopify is a pretty good roster, but Space Station is just that much better. They look so good. I really don't know what to say. Space Station looked the best they've ever played, like in a very, very long time. LJ was definitely a good pickup for them. I think they'll do nothing but get better. Really good roster. Faze, Dignitas, unfortunate meetup for Dignitas. I think Faze took this with a bit of ease. 3-1. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have Dignitas going through on that one. It's Faze Clan after all. Faze Clan look good. Like, amazing, actually. So, yeah, if you disagree with that, let me know in the comment section down below. That's just me, though. Okay, version 1, G2. This is a very close match, actually. These are two teams that were top 8 in Worlds. G2 going in second place, beating, I think they did beat version 1, or it may have been Faze Clan, I'm not quite sure. I think G2, good roster. I'm going to give it to V1, though. I'm going to give it to V1 in Game 5. That could be an upset. I understand. I want to go for a little more upsets. I just want to see them. So, for me, that's what I'm going to do. Version 1 upset. Kinda. If you call it an upset. Complexity, Optic. Both pretty good teams. I want Optic to win, but I unfortunately feel that in this type of game, they don't. They just don't win when they need to, and I hate to say that, but I think it's going to happen. Yeah. Rogue Soul. I think Soul's a pretty roster. I don't think they're good enough to beat Rogue. I think Rogue showed up a lot, and obviously making top 8 and top 16 is huge for Rogue. They haven't really performed since First Killer left the roster. The team that they have right now is not bad. Obviously, they made top 8 and top 16 qualifier, so they're a pretty good roster. We'll have to see more from them this season. I'm hoping they show up, but Soul, not quite there quite yet. Nrg, Genji, bit of an interesting one. This is a team that goes 0-2. If you lose this, you go 0-2 in Swiss, and that is not a good sign. That is not anywhere where you want to be. So you really want to win this match. Even if you go 0-2, you can still come back. Soul did actually in the close qualifiers, but still, with this being the main event, these teams are not like bubble teams. These are actual good teams and teams that can qualify for the top 8. So yeah, but with that being said, I think Genji is a pretty good roster. They have to show up. I think they will show up. And I'm gonna give them that. I think they'll take Nrg 3-2. Accelerate, Luminosity. Like I said, both these teams have the potential to be a top 8 team. Both these teams have really shown up recently. Luminosity is a pretty good one. I didn't expect a lot from them, but they have really shown up. Accelerate was a team I expected a little bit of, but they've performed a lot better than I thought they were going to. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna give it to Luminosity. I hate that. I want Accelerate to win this one, but overall, it never goes my way from previous experience. It never goes my way in my predictions. So, yeah, we'll see. Knights Furia. I mean, how crazy would it be to see a Knights upset here? I don't see it happening though. 3-1. Alright, round 3 high matches. Space Station versus Complexity. I think this is a pretty easy one. I think Complexity is a pretty good team. I think they'll bring it to a Game 5, but I think Space Station ultimately have shown that they are a better team. They look so good right now. And as long as they continue to play like they have been the past couple of weeks, they will definitely be a top contender of this, for sure. Version 1 Faze. Interesting one. I think in the top 16 qualifier, I had them beating Faze in my predictions. I don't think they actually even faced each other in the actual one, but I'm gonna give it to Faze in 5. Optic Gaming, Genji. Like I said, Genji, pretty good roster. They gotta show up though, and I think Optic will show up better. I just feel it happening. I think it will. G2 Esports Furious. Obviously, this is a team that goes back quite a bit. Furious has faced G2 multiple times, I believe, and they're not a bad roster. And this is a great matchup, by the way. I mean, for it being a round 3 mid-match, this isn't even a high match, which is crazy to think. I'm giving it to G2 in 5. I think they'll take it pretty well. I think Furia will keep it close in the games that they win, and I think G2 will take it pretty easily in the games that they win. So, that's my predictions for that game. Dignitas, Rogue, and Dignitas are both your lower tier top 16 teams. I expect that they do well this season. I hope they do, because I want to see both these teams perform. But I think Rogue is just a little bit better, and I'm going to give it to them. Shopify, Luminosity, that's that. Just me. And you know what? I actually think that Rogue will go 3-0 there. Just my random prediction, but it could happen. Round 3 low matches, Nrg versus Soul. Soul's a good roster, but unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye as they leave to Nrg. Accelerate Knights. Interesting one. Both these teams could win this, and I want Accelerate to win, but like I said, it never goes my way. I'm going to give it to Knights in 5. Okay, Round 4 high matches. We have version 1 Shopify Rebellion. I think this is a pretty easy one. I think we'll go to game 5, but I think version 1 will take it. Complexity G2, another interesting one as well. G2 goes back-to-back SAM teams, so yeah, and I think they're good enough to take it both. Optic Rogue, a bit of an interesting one here. If I know Optic, right, I feel that, I mean, obviously in the top 16 qualifier, they went 3-1, so they didn't take it to the very end, the very last life, but I feel that it will happen here. As much as I hate to say it, I think it's gonna happen, and I think Rogue take it 3-2. Just me though. All right, round 4 low matches. Furia Nrg. This is to eliminate a team. This is the elimination team, which is just crazy to think that whoever loses this is eliminated. So what a matchup, we'll say. And I like Furia, I like Nrg, but Nrg has that plot armor, and it makes no sense how they win half the matches they play with the plot armor is just on their set all the time. Furia, you look on the paper, Furia look like they should win this pretty easily, especially with recent results. Furia look like they should win this maybe 3-0. But Nrg have that plot armor, which I feel it's gonna happen, and with Furia not looking too good, I think they will take it. Luminosity Knights, I think Knights will clutch it up, and I think not 4. I think they go 3-1 over Luminosity, eliminating Luminosity. Genji Dignitas, bit of an interesting one here. Genji, this is their last life. They're out of here, which is bad, by the way, I will say. Genji is expected to do great. People had high hopes for Genji, so if they don't perform here, it's not good for them. So I'm gonna give it to them. Gotta help them out a little bit. Oh wow, what a bunch of matches we have here. How crazy is this? Complexity, Genji. That's a bit of an interesting one. Two teams I would not expect to be down here. I think, like I said, Genji is expected to do well. Complexity is expected to do well. I think from recent results, I'm going to go off that alone. Complexity look better, and I think I'm going to bring it 3-1. Optic Nrg. What an interesting one here. Both these teams, people expect to do well. Nrg being the number 1 in the NA scene for so long, and Optic recently coming in and looking pretty good. Not the best, pretty good. And how unfortunate would it be if they do not make it? Which is why, unfortunately, I'm going to give Nrg plot armor and let them take it. Which is so sad. I hate that. And with that being said, we have our last match of Swiss. Shopify Rebellion versus PK, Pittsburgh Knights. Let's see. Where do I go with this? So, Shopify look pretty good, but Knights get the reverse sweep if they win. And I think both these teams have a chance of winning and a chance of losing. We'll see. I think Shopify has that, just that pass where it doesn't make sense for them to lose, but they do. And I think I want to see the reverse sweep happen. I think it will. Pittsburgh Knights, reverse sweep. And with that being said, we have our top 8 going. Faze Clan and Space Station going 3-0. Rogue version 1, G2 going 3-1. Nrg, Complexity, and PK. Pittsburgh Knights, very unexpected roster, go 3-2, which is crazy because Nrg and PK both get the reverse sweep to qualify. How unfortunate that would be if you were any of the teams that beat these teams. So yeah, not to mention Optic beat both. Well, lost Nrg, but beat PK. So a bit interesting, spicy. You know what I'm saying? Now it's playoffs time. We have, very interestingly, Space Citizen Gaming versus PK, version 1 versus G2, Faze versus Nrg, and Rogue versus Complexity. I think to start it off, this is best of 7, by the way. I think 4-1 right there. I think Knights will keep it kind of close, but Space Station's just gonna take it pretty easily, I would think. Version 1 G2. That's a bit of an interesting one. I'm not really sure on previous things who is better. I think version 1 has definitely improved a lot, and I think they are definitely a very strong team. And interesting. I think I'm going to give it in a game 6 to G2. I just feel like it will happen. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, that's just me. Faze Clan and Nrg 4-1. Nrg hasn't been looking too good. They could be better. It's okay. Whatever. Rogue Complexity. Complexity is looking pretty good. Rogue is also looking pretty good. This is a bit of you have a chance of winning. You can make top 4 in your first regional, and if Rogue do that, that is huge. And I'm going to give it to Rogue in a game 7. I think Rogue will take it. And Rogue, for the first time since First Killer, make a top 4 in a regional. So that's crazy, but it happens. Space Station Gaming G2. Space Station Gaming looking pretty good. G2 also looking okay. I'm gonna give it to Space Station. Good enough. I want to see the storyline continue. Space Station Gaming picking up LJ and then going for first place in the first regional. Hopefully, we'll see. Faze Clan Rogue first going up against this original roster, and I think it's not gonna be that difficult. Space Station Gaming versus Faze Clan. A bit of an interesting one as well. Faze Clan's a pretty good roster. Space Station's a pretty good roster. Space Station has been looking good recently. Faze Clan looking good with Mist. And overall, both these teams are great. But I want to go for the storyline, and honestly, because Space Station hasn't won a regional in forever, I'm going to Game 7. Space Station take it and get first place. But yeah, there is my tournament predictions. Space Station going first, Faze Clan second, G2 and Rogue third and fourth, Complexity, Nrg, version 1, Pittsburgh Knights, all going 5th through 8th. And then a bunch of random teams like Optic, Genji, Furia, Dignitas, and Accelerate, even Shopify, down from 9th to 16th. So, what an upset of a bunch of stuff. A lot of people that we expected to make it here, and my predictions at least, don't make it here. How crazy would that be? But yeah, anyways, we'll see. This could happen, this might not happen, but we'll have to wait and see. They come out tomorrow, that's tomorrow's regionals. So yeah, there's my predictions. If you agree or disagree with anything, let me know in the comment section down below. As well as like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I will be streaming most of the regional on Saturday and Sunday, as much as I can at least. And so yeah, I'll see you then.